Hello, I'm Stefan, and I want to show you a quick overview of how to quickly scrap data from the internet and analyze it, and maybe create a quick and dirty dashboard to analyze special indicators you found in the data you want to grab. I have to admit first that I never did that before. So all problems I encounter here, I would encounter on normal basis and would like to solve them during my regular first approaches. So everything I do here will help you understand why I think some special thoughts or how do I solve some things. Maybe you can give feedback how to better approach problems or a special kind of problem, and maybe you find it easy how I approach other problems, maybe so we can uh, get both benefits from us. So I never did that before. The question was, can we scrap data from that link and can we develop a dashboard out of it? And I never was on that page before, or actually I uh, never inspected it before. So um, this is school statistics during the pandemic in Germany, and as soon as I see that every calendar week receives data, we receive data. So when we watch at the bottom of the page, there's a PDF link to this. So when I click on it, you see that there's a direct link to a PDF file, which probably we can scrap, but as far as I see, there are Excel files here as well um, that report the same. Okay, so that will be the same values as in here. So uh, current country specific school organizations. So the state has currently holidays, and this state as well, and this has intermediate or intermitting school days. They are completely the state where we live is the pupils have to go to school, which I think they love. So, and we have the same here as Excel file, I assume. So let's see, Lower Saxony is this. These are the total country specific cases. Are probably cases. Okay. We will have these cases. So school cases, I assume. I, let's explore the data later. So what we are going to do is the first point is we are scrapping the data. Then we are importing the data. Then we are exploring it, and then we think about automation or um, how to regularly run a script to scrap the data. And the fifth is we develop or we create at least one performance indicator, which we then report in a dashboard. And I hope we can do this within 1 hour at least. So let's go for it and let's start. So the first thing is we are importing the data. Here I'm using R, and everything in the next will be R related. So I'm not using Python or anything else with this approach. Why? Because we have uh, the whole things from importing, scrapping, importing, transforming to the reporting. We are just using one language. So we are scrapping the data with rvest, and we are putting this link in an object, and we now read HTML the link. The best thing is, of course, this page doesn't use JavaScript, so we don't need to simulate a session, and we can scrap probably the data as we want. So the thing is, or the advantage is that when we look at the source code, that we know that, for instance, this has direct links. Okay, it's a direct link to the file admin folder, Dateien, PDF, statistics, and so forth. So we know that there is just the links with the Excel files we need from that page. So, and the standard HTML um, uh, format for links is A and then H reference to the link. So we know that we are just have to look at the HTML nodes with the A in it, which has the links in it. So here we see that there are 164 different nodes in there. And what we're doing now is HTML attribute, which is href. Okay, and that will be all the links from this page. That was quite easy. There are, of course, standard links or trash, but we are now looking just for the links, the Excel links. So in this we can pipe as well, because this is a vector. We can just grab XLSX, which is here, and we need the value. Is it value? I always forget. Okay, and these are the actual Excel files. So there's documentation here. So this is a different folder, and I'm just wondering, this documentation probably has some different Excel files. No, it has, luckily, maybe it has the same format. Okay, good. So these are the Excel files, the actual link to the Excel files we scrapped from the data. So now we have as a vector here. And now we want to download all the files. And for this, it would be the best. We are creating a folder for all of this. And that will be the KMK dashboard. Okay, where's the folder now? It's here. And we create a new project. So this will help us referencing the files we are actually downloading. Create project. So we are now creating the and we obviously lost the whole script. Thanks for that, but I assume it's still saved if we are opening a new file, a new RStudio. Here it is. Okay. So this is our script, and we actually create a folder where we will save our script first, and that is the da, 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 um, scrap, the scrap R, and then we will create a folder which is called data, where we save all the data. So as you have seen, we now have all the Excel files here, and what we're doing is that we are downloading the data now. So the data is kmk.org HTTPS. So what we do is, oh, I hope that works. I forget this all the time. Paste HTTPS / www.kmk.org, and then the Excel files. Yes, file admin. And there is a download file, the URL. The download file needs the URL and the destination file. And I'm just wondering, we actually can loop this. So we're just looping it now because we don't want to do it for every file. And base name. The base name of the file is this. Okay. So what we gotta do is we could use base R, but we use the tidyverse here now. We map through all Excel files with the download file, where the dest file equals the base name. Um, let's make sure that we do the I don't know if that works. No, the the base name will be paste 0 data / because we want to directly put it into the data folder. So will this work? No. Scheme not supported. File admin. Yes, of course. Yes. We just pipe it in there, and we don't have to care for it again. Okay, there is the data, and it has different sizes, which gives me the clue that we actually downloaded it correctly. Okay, so that is scrapping the data. And at this stage, we are downloading the data. And now we can probably explore some files. Um, yes, what I'm wondering now is we want to look at this file. So it's COVID-19 and then the calendar week. Is this everywhere? No, this is a different. Calendar week 8, 9, calendar week 19, 9, 10, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this is differently named. And calendar week 50, 49, 48. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we don't need to list the files because it's the file, it's actually that file. It's these files, isn't it? No. These are the actual files we already downloaded. And what we're gonna do now is we grab every KV or AW in this vector, and value is again true. So this is actually everything because, okay, we don't grab, we don't want to have the Schularten in there now. I'm not interested in this. So what we're gonna do because of the, I think it's invert true. Yes, so 21, 18, 15, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. So the 7 is missing. Everything from the 7. This is 50, 49, 48, 47, 46. Okay. I think there are the week 1 to 7 is missing, which is, I guess, fine. And now we're just exploring the data a bit. And I'm wondering if it is better to make this in a separate R file, because this is our scrap file, which is scrapping the data every time we run this script. What we're going to do is in a later stage, we will to do. We will just put in the to do because I think that will be to do. Stop downloading files we already downloaded. So we just need to create that he's scanning the files he already downloaded and is comparing them with the new files, and then is downloading just the new files and not all the new scrap files. So we have the old files, we have files in this folder, we have these files, and then he's comparing between both of them. Are there new files? And then he's just piping the new files into the download function. And we don't do this now. So, okay, I think I deleted this at this stage. Okay, we just save this. So this is our scrap function, which now works. It's not perfect, but And this is our EDA function, or this is actually our EDA. So what we're doing now, we just reset everything we do. So now we don't have this list anymore. We just want to list the files in the path data, which is this now. And we grab Schularten values true invert is true, so we don't want Schularten in there. Library. I'm not loading the tidyverse because I think it could be run on a virtual machine and we just want to improve. Yes, we need to give him the ID where he wants to grab it. Okay, so again, week 9, 49. Okay, so it's differently sorted, but I think that's fine. That is fine, I assume. So what we're doing, we are now making a very nice table out of it. And what we do now, we clean it up a little bit. We don't want in the value string. Remove all COVID-19 in the value. Yes, COVID-19. Now let's just look at all that we are doing it correctly with all of them. Ah, there's still Schularten in there. Yes, because of that. Okay, so we have now 19 files. Or can we use or? I never did that in this. Yes, we can. Okay, so next thing we delete. Or can we just pipe this as well? All this or this. Yes, perfect. Okay, and we also want Werte. I don't think we need this. And I don't think we need Zahlen and neu. Okay. And we don't need, actually, when we are now cleaning everything, we don't need the .xlsx. That's perfect. Okay, so, and we don't use the value here. Rename the file is the value. We just rename the columns now. So this will be in the file and this will be the week. Yeah, so that's the file and that's the actual week. And I don't know if that's gonna work. Yes, that's work. So we have here the direct link now, or the direct file, and we have the can delete data slash. Yes, okay. So, but still, it's not the correct week. Um, I'm wondering. The problem is that the year is not here, and in future, maybe this goes on for a few years. We need to harmonize the week. And so what we're gonna do, string extract um, all numbers, so 0 to 9, and it will be 2 digits in week, of course, Stefan, in week. Yes, so that's just week 9, 0, 9, 8. It's not a 0, 8, so either we replace it, but in future there will be um, can I use or as well? Yes. There will be no more than 2 digits. Okay, so that is the week actually, and what we're gonna do is we just transform it again as numeric week, and the problem will be as well. So currently, it's we know that this is 2000. That's the year 2020, and the new one. So starting at 8 will be yes. So we need to I do this just quick and dirty now. There needs to be a rule created that we say in future this will go on, and we now use the year is if else, week is above 45, then the year will be 2020, otherwise it's 2021. So that is the week and the actual year. Okay, so we now labeled this, and we're now, so this will help identify us the actual file because it's heterogeneously marked. So what we do now is the that is the data of the files. So what we're gonna do now is we are exploring the first so this is the first row and the first file exactly. So we are now exploring the first Excel file with read Excel because we know there are not very much sheets in it. And that didn't work. Evaluation arrow zip file. We downloaded this. So let me check how we downloaded the data. Mhm, mhm, mhm. I think we need to make a additional argument. We found a problem. Yes, I think the problem is in the download. Um, download file. The mode is WB as far as I remember. Okay, let's run this again. And now we need to run this. Yes, okay, it was WB. Okay, perfect. So now we have the first, we can skip three rows because all this information is redundant. And what is this? That is a problem. So what file are we actually exploring here? It's week 8. So that's that. It's a footnote. Okay, but it's correctly imported. The problem is the dates. I encountered that problem a lot, and I always differently um, approach it. It's a 5-digit date, read Excel, 5-digit date. Where reading date is, if I did, no, it's um, maybe it's in Python. No, we want to have the solution. Da, 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 da. I think the easiest is to construct a time delta index from float, scalar, from this. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we as postix and origin. Sometimes it's just 9070 string. Probably needs a number. Yes. It's not a date. It's not a time. It's a date. Let's try the same. So it's 1990. No. So it's the 25th February. So what is he calculating? That is wrong. Sometimes it just needs to be divided by 10, by 2, by 3, 2010. So how do we come? There must be a better approach than that. Still, the problem is we have the time here. as date. That's the one I'm actually searching for. Yes, exactly. So that would be the easiest thing we're gonna apply here. So we have that. So we just save it for later in case we want to transform this. Okay, so um, the best thing would be to have this as a long format. So no, first things first. Are there columns? No, they are all no schools and percent. Okay, there are similar columns. Cleaned proportion. So let us see the data. So up the current numbers of Corona. So as far, this is the number of schools with this type of school form. These are the number of schools with this type of school form. This is the sub number, so this is a number based on this. This are the actual cases, as far as I understand. Aktuell mit Covid infiziert. Anteil an einbezogenen Schülern. Okay, so nachträglich die landesintern eingezogenen Schulen insgesamt. So these are the schools, 900. So when we go with this, I don't know, 3,100. That is the ratio. There's not percent, isn't it? This is 56%. Is it? It isn't. No. Let us see. So these are the total numbers of pupils infected. As far as I see. So this is, for instance, in Bremen, 38 from 180. Just check it. 38 from 180 will be 21%. No, can't be 21%, but it is. Yes, it is. It is multiply form as one. Okay, so, but they say, but this is zero. So I assume 0.05% are infected. So this makes sense probably. Aktuell, so quarantined pupils, that much. So these are the interesting numbers. This is just how the school is working. This is the infected pupils. This is the percentage of the infected pupils. This is how much pupils get in quarantine. This is the percentage of how much pupils are in quarantine. This is the number of schools. This is the number of pupils. So 38 divided by 84,236. Just make that sure. 4,200 is 0. That is the number. This is the, yes, 45. This is the number, exactly. So that divided by this number, so this is the total number, and this is the percentage, correct? So, and this is then 260 divided by them will be 0.31%. So these are the teachers who are infected, and this is the quarantine teachers. And these are the total teachers. That is interesting. So we have the actual number of teachers. Oh, that is an interesting statistics, to be honest. Okay, I assume we skip that. We don't, that is an interesting, but we are not interested in this. This is the total number of schools. Well, I don't know. Let's let's keep this. But I assume, yes, let's keep this. So, but what key indicators were now double? Anteil einbezogener Lehrkräfte in Prozent. Anteil einbezogener Lehrkräfte in Prozent. Ah, okay. So this is, that's why it's color coded. Okay. Um, so what we do, we don't need this proportion because we can calculate it on our own, so we don't have to filter for this or make it weird, to be honest. And we probably rename it. So that's the current date. Yeah, yes, okay. Okay. I guess we can work with this. So what we're gonna do now is we view again, and we just mutate an indicator which is 1 to 0, and then we just arrange it by indicator. So we have our order back. So this is the first, that's the, yeah, it's, okay, okay. Okay, fine, fine, fine. So now we gonna look if the other files will have the same. Yes. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we filter. So the land. Okay, this is not allowed to be in the land. Yes, so, okay, that is, yes. Okay, and what we don't need as well is, we don't need Anmerkung in Land. Okay, so that is exactly what we need. These are the total numbers, which is, I assume we can do on our own. That is Bezug. That's um, So this is the number of schools. So what is the clean proportion? Let me see. So that is the clean proportion, and that is the so in case of the corona cases, these are all the numbers of pupils, which is 50 million. Yes, that's the sum. 7,696,000, that's the total. But the actual cases is just 7,400,000. So that is the cleaned number. And that is the number who receive quarantine. Why is the Okay, so I assume these are the correctly adjusted values. Um, as far as I understand, due to missing information, which I guess is fine. These are the totals, and we don't need the totals. We can handle the totals for ourselves. And so what we're gonna do now, we need to separate this because these are the correct probably transferred indicators we can report. And this is the metadata for instance, the crude data, which is important and which we need to scrap. Okay, knowing this, um, we need we need to clean a little bit more. And we're gonna do this. I will just look at the land. Okay, and I'm wondering if we just rename this ourselves so that we have it quick and dirty. Or if we leave it this way. Probably it is not bad to leave it this way. The problem is we have which is always different. Hmm. Okay, we need to split the data. That's the first thing we're gonna do. We will not get struct at this stage. So what we're gonna do now is we select so that we subset the data. So what we're gonna do, we select for the first subset the land, and then we select everything which contains bereinigt. Yes, exactly. Exactly. So, and what we're going to do now is we drop an A. We don't need the drop an A. is probably a tidier function. Exactly. These are the values which probably will be in the data dashboard at the end. And that is fine. So this is the adjusted totals. And what I don't like as well is we need to work with the columns. So we clean it up now. Beteiligter Anteil, beteiligte Bezugsgröße und das Land. Yes, so, but now we don't know what the actual key is. We just know what the actual factor is because it's not in here. It's color coded that there is a. Okay, I understand. Um, we probably. So how do we do it? Otherwise, we can use this as the primary key. Okay, we don't drop an A here. Um, so schools without pupils in it are 15% from 23,000 in total. Is it 15%? It is, because Thuringia has so much. Okay, that is interesting. So that is the key, and that is the description of the key. So how do we do this? Mm, we make some small tricks in here. So for that, I think I think we leave it this way. We don't scrap all the data. I will do this later. We are now dealing just with these values. So the first thing we're going to do here is the description of the key. So we are mutating an indicator column, which is if else beteiligter. Let's just take the names because I don't want to write them down. Why is it not doing so? Should. Yes, there it is. So is an A this column. So if this column is an A, then put in here Land. Otherwise, this one. Got a date. Yes, he's complaining always with a date. That's fine. So now what we have is this and that, this and this is the totals. Mm, how's the best would be we have this here. Yes, maybe it's easier to just lag all of this one down in the indicator. We don't use this. We just lack the land. It's not working because of this. Yes, I guess that's what we do, but there is a problem here. No, that will be okay. Schools without this is that schools with pupils in them, schools with restricted or is that current cases, that much cases, current quarantine of pupils, is that? Um, I think that's correctly done. That is actually what we want to use. Okay, so that's the data. We want to, the KPI data we actually want to have. Okay, and we just run this grab KPI. We just create a function which we can run over all the files. And we need the file as the argument in here. So in the KPI data, so we don't need this because that will be the only thing. No, there will be multiple things we need to export because furthermore we are exporting this, but we also need the date. So that's the data is actually that's the data. What we're going to do now is um, so what we do when there are different dates, there won't be, isn't it? Uh, so when we have the data, um, we want to have, let's say that's the data. We want to have the first row completely, which is this, and we just select. We don't want this column as well. He's just replying. So we need to make this longer. Calls everything. Names to key. Oh no, it's actually the count, the state. We just call it state now. No, no, don't want to call it county. Values to date. Yes. Can't combine. Yes, okay, so because it's different, these are characters and these are numbers. And now Perfect. And now we just mutate the date into, and I thought, yes, that's that is our, it's not working because it's as numeric. It's character before, now it's numeric. And now we make it distinct. Date. So we have different dates here, which is of course awful. We just count the date. I think that would be the best, and we just use the date which is most commonly used, and now we slice. I don't know if that is actually possible. Yeah, that's possible. Fine. And we need it. Yes. Okay, so that's the actual date. The data date. Okay. And the actual data will be here. Drop an A. So what we're gonna do now is, I don't know how we, I assume the best would be we just return the date, data date is the data date. That's the data date. That's the data, that's the data date. The data or the KPI, we call it the same. We just how the list is named is this. We return that. Okay, and the file. So the file goes in here. It's not okay. And now we grab API. We just hope it's running, and the data files. First row, first. Return, could not find return. Yes, funny. Multi-arguments are not permitted. So why is it pull? Is this the correct? Just not that. Wait. We are not pulling the data. We give him the. But that's not the problem, isn't it? Path must be a string. We handle that later. So okay, so it's not working because now we are debugging our function. The file is this. The path must, yeah, the file, not the. That's right. That's right. That's right. Ah, yes, I'm stupid. It's a list, Stefan. It's a list because we are returning now. Ah, yes. Oh, that is stupid. Mm, okay. Just for later debugging, we leave it this way. Yes. Okay. Second row is also returning two things. Perfect. So what we're gonna do now, I don't know, row wise, we do this per row. Mutate the KPI equals map grep, not maply, map the file and grep KPI. Could not find because it's a pure. That somehow worked. Honest wider. The KPI. It somehow worked, but probably that's wrong. So the KPI data is now, oh, we call it df KPI. Don't need this. So what we have here is, what if we just unnest the KPI data? Can't combine. Yes. Yes, we have different keys. That's the problem. Wait, it needs to be. So that is the date. So let's make these things clear. Select, um, let's say column 4 to 6 to 7. And can I run honest? Can't combine. Yes, because that's a double. Hmm. There is a problem. Probably there are characters somehow. Uh, it's not numbers that are transferred, it's characters. So, and what we're gonna do now is, because of this data, we just mutate all of our final um, probably this could fix it. Yes, exactly. Um, so this now here, you see that's an export from Excel. Yes. Okay. Let's see what the problem, where the problem is. Or we leave it this way. No, we leave it this way. We make the itsy bitsy small pieces um, later. Not in this tutorial. because I want to finish it. Call is now required. Variables, add variables as numeric. Is this the what you want to do? Yes. Bereinigt. Exactly. No, don't want to print. Oh, probably I want to print. Mm. It's a larger one. So there should be an A now. No, there isn't. That's funny. Okay. So these are our key performance indicators we grab from all the data now. And we save this. We gonna save this as the clean data, clean KPI, which we don't want to save the view in this as well. So, okay, so the problem is, yes, okay, I think that's better at this stage. Okay, so um, what we're gonna do now, this is the actual metadata we are exporting, and I just call it metadata. It's not the correct, and we're gonna save it as a RDS file. The object, we can save it as a CSV as well. Probably it's easier for others to extract it, but we leave it here. And the file name, it's sometimes just nice to, no, we override it every time. Let's just override it. Clean KPI.rds, and we want to have it in the metadata folder. There it is. Okay, perfect. We leave it this way. So now we go back. So what we scrapped the data, we imported the data, we did this, we will do that, but the problem is now we can run the scrap and the EDA together all the time, and then it develops this data at the end, which then will be our KPI, which will be in a dashboard. So how do we do the dashboard? We now can use a template dashboard. So I just quickly do the flex dashboard part, which is a static thing. So when we generate this, we can already, I called it index, because we can actually easily host index files from GitHub. I can show later. So you see, these are the charts, and what we're gonna do now, I think we do have read RDS, I assume, yes. Metadata. Da, 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 da. Clean KPI.rds. No such file directory. We are in this directory, but where have I said we are in the correct directory, isn't it? Or where are we? We have saved it already, so he should be in the correct directory. Ah, that was a typo. Okay, I just call this. So we imported the data, and what we're going to do now is we report the infected pupils. So da, 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 da. I just hope let's see if there are we had how many files? Oh, I actually forgot. How many files did we actually had? That's here. We had 19 files, so there should be 19 indicators. I want infiziert. Infizierte Schülerin, so infected. It's just 14. Mm, And this is just for that year. That is probably a problem because of the old data. We have to search oh, Schülerinnen und Schüler. I assume that's the one. Aktuell infizierte Schülerinnen und Schüler in Quarantäne. Nachträglich korrigiert. That is, I guess that is a problem here. There is a format problem because this infizierte, I guess that's the one we are also, I don't know if we, yes, I just hope that that is the correct one. Now we have 17, we have a loss of 2, so we have to look into this why 2 of them is not correctly done. So this is our first KPI we are reporting, and I just randomly look where that is. So that is that is actually the important thing. So um, this is chart A, which is called the infected pupils. Infected pupils, COVID-19, infected pupils, and that's a proportion of COVID-19 infected pupils. Okay, and we select the data date and the bereinigter Anteil, and we are just plotting it pretty easily. ggplot, and we have to okay, it's not working because we need to um, load the packages here. And on the aesthetics, yes, we need to transform it first. I do like loop redate, just makes things easier. So the date is, it's the year, then comes the month, then comes the day. of the date. Data date. That's the column. Just override it. Makes things easier. So on the x-axis we have the date, and on the y-axis we do this, and now we are just, well, because we have interrupted, we just report the point. And we just rename the so I guess that's the of course we can handle a little bit the scales. Scale x date values. Oh, hope I just hope that labels. Date format. Yes. And we just format the month, the day, and the year. January 1st. Okay. Okay, I think that's we can also put in the line here. I don't think we gonna do any problems because we just have to know that there are that there is missing data. So what we're gonna do now, we just knit it and have this reported now. We can fill this with the other key performance indicators, but that will do. We don't use it. We can rename some things, and I think I don't know if that's gonna work. If that's the correct YAML. No, it's not. It's something. That's something different. Okay, I'll leave it this way, I guess. So what we're gonna do now, we just push this as a GitHub repository, and we just create a new repository, what we call KMK dashboard, and that's a KMK dashboard. We'll make it public. We choose a license, and we just do it as a. We can also do the license with R, but this will help us use the. Oh no, that's right. We do it with R. I think that would be the easiest thing we to show to learn that. So what we're gonna do, we just delete it. Delete this. So new repository, KMK dashboard, KMK dashboard, create repository. So we can use, we can create an, use this as the package, MIT license, that just added the license in our, here as well. And for use this, We can also create a README MD where we just write KMK dashboard. The goal of KMK dashboard is to create or develop a dashboard. Data source. We just give him the data source. And that'll do. So what we're going to do now is we exactly do the instruction as GitHub tells us. We git init this. No, not on the console, of course. We add all of this. We add all files. We commit all files. And we don't use the branch. We just keep it as a master branch. And I just hope that's correct. Push minus u. Master does not match. Branch master. Untracked files. Adding files failed. Permission denied due to the fact that I still have the Excel file open. Yes, and now I have to git add. Git edit again. Now I can push. Does not match. Now I can commit. Now I can push. Now I have to give the credentials again. And I assume that's it. So, and because we already named this as dashboard, we can set up an action. Manage access, branches, actions. No, pages. We can set up a page with the master branch and we just save it. And now it's not working yet, but it will soon work as the dashboard. So we can put it here in the about. We save the changes. And now every time we want to adjust flex dashboards, we just go in here and we can see how flex dashboards are done. And we can, yeah, do practically everything. Best thing is to learn from examples. So when oh, that's probably not the best. So for instance, when I click on this, it's a ggplotly example, but there you can build these tabs here and they already show the source code of that. So now let us check if the will soon be online. It's actually there's a deployment active, view deployment. It's not yet active, but it will be soon. So check out the link, and I assume that's okay. Now the last thing is how do you can work with the data if you're not familiar with Git. You can just say I want to clone this repository or fork it, But as far as you want to collaborate in it, you want to clone it, you copy this link, and what you're gonna do, you open wherever you are and clone this. So when I open my standard prompt or command line, make I just call it test. Now we are in test, and I install git clone. You need to install git, of course. The first is that you have git installed, uh, and this, how do you install book? Here, get started, download. You need to download it for Windows, and it's already downloading, but I don't need it. And then you just install it, and then you go to your command line. That git needs to be working. Git is working. Git clone, and you just copy this here, enter there, cloning the dashboard, and all the files will be in your folder. CKMK dashboard, and these are all the files. So, and you can easily, I assume, work with R. So R is now automatically open with this command, and you have your KMK dashboard project in this test folder ready. Okay, that's how you do it, and I hope I showed you some steps, how to scrap the data, how to import it, how to make well, the exploration did a little bit longer than expected. We need to understand the data, but then we have one KPI at least visualized and in a dashboard. And we'll just check the dashboard again. It's not working. That's sad, but it's already active. Hmm. Well, will be soon. Takes up to 5 minutes. Okay, thank you.